You're not a little brat.
It's not the first well, listen, I just looked up the brilliant opening credit to it. Here we are, come on. If you are of an age, you will remember this. Here it is. Isn't this great? And this is the whole thing. They are. This is my childhood, Mike. There he is, there you are! Okay, all right. So, everybody stop the wobble touch, really. Everybody that just happened to the first and the biggest of the time. I will come to some of your other I love them. My old costume to the Glastonbury in 2011. I say, oh, Mum, oh my goodness, yes. So there's a real happy family, careless of the wobbles of Glastonbury, come on. That's why this spent week. So look now, here we are, back up to, I'm 77 years old now, my kid's 43. So my kid's reading his first interview, which is called Ukraine. Love it when we have, can I just get the vinyl out? Such a lovely, do you ever have to say that? I think yeah, you've got to. One of the things, so that's the thing, isn't it? It's just gorgeous, we need to go back to it.
Low battery. Defense facility destroyed. Communists win.
And you are going to be conducting performances of that. There are no scheduled performances of it. I would like to get a couple of things it up, that'd be lovely. That's for the London City Orchestra, and we recorded it again in no doubt. Pretty good. Thank you.
London devastated. 5.4 million dead.
Yes, this book here, look, here we are. And, okay, now we're talking around here. Why is it called The Closest Thing to Crazy? The answer is that at a certain point in life, this is a story I had as well. You say there's some sort the classic sheet.
Nuclear 3.6 million dead. Wait, weird. Low battery. Ceylon, Iran native, 7.3 million dead. Defense facility destroyed. Communists win.
like bright eyes. Yeah. I was after that from out there. I don't know.
Low battery. Low battery.
And
Low battery. 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 Low battery.
I mean, it's I think I've seen that couple in October. I didn't see any other horse. And he paced himself very well. Yeah. What, so the question of the is why about that.
Red is crucified!
Because I knew that I had a symphony in me. But even though I know these days that avant-garde guys, who quite honestly don't get me started. Because a lot of the avant-garde, like, you've already got, I started with myself, always avant-garde, you just have to write something pretty nice. Well, you know, no, what I would call academic modernism, where it sounds really horrible, but it's very clever. And it's more beautiful. And so, but hang on, let's not go there. I think does have this that, and you asked me a question about Ukraine. We ask a lot of, most of us care a lot about Ukraine, one way or the other, but most of us one way. And I watched it, I was watching it, sitting in the kitchen and watching the footage. It all happened. I'm going up sometimes with Dad, it's a drive something desperate, you know what to do. And at the same time, that year, I was like, suddenly, twice I thought, it must be about I very, very nearly recorded it. I was invited to by there, and that wasn't it. And sadly, the government wants to do my family. So, enter the LSO and my other. You found out earlier today, the 2nd of November, when I was about that it within 3 years, almost a month when I first conducted the LSO, which was around normal time. So all of these historic stuff and going through all my eyes, we're fighting sort of it's like sort of whack-a-mole. I'll pop up and be what's your favourite instrument? Like play on the piano? Yeah, I watch a few of them. How do you do it? What's all that Eastern
Wave Lawyer.
Commentary over the music. It is a beautiful, beautiful sound. But you know what after running the show? That's my listening. Happy to but that's all we didn't do it quite because we're yeah, I know. And it's like a plate, the core, right?
Tokyo destroyed. 8.4 million dead.
Let's be down terror.
Wave Clear.
Yeah, and it's up on the over, it's just a bit over, yeah, and it goes down lower, and it has the lower end, and that's just a sound there. I love it. And they go into music. I love music, but I don't know what music called. Can you play instruments? No, and I told my kids to learn piano, because there's nothing more beautiful than just playing an instrument. depends what you work for. I know you're but
I did, but sometimes you have to walk it, you know, they don't realise the benefit of
Yeah.
West Berlin, 3.3 million dead. Low battery, 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 so ravaged, 5.8 million dead. Low battery,
so Patriots are the ones that go out, they've been around for about 30 years. They go up and they intercept incoming missiles. They are a great air-defense system. And let's have a look at what Trump had to say at a meeting with Zelensky at yesterday's NATO summit. So one of the things we're going to be talking about, we're going to give a license to just like get the planet
low battery, low battery, London, incinerated, 4.7 million dead. Communists win.
And I thought, oh goodness sakes, this is
Oh, thanks for the t-shirt.
by the fact that, I mean, I don't think that Trump gives enough, anywhere near enough support. I think there's a lot of us think that to Ukraine. And the other thing that Paul did at that interview, he said, has anyone got any questions for President Putin? Oh, not again. And instead of saying, oh, excuse me, I read you, President Zelensky, I'm so sorry. He didn't. He just went on, yeah, Putin, where is he Putin? Who wants to give me a question to ask him? He's trying to get himself out of, I'm not seeing now.
We know it. Of course, Biden's the last one to call Zelensky Putin, so it happens a lot. But what do you think this thing is? Oh, listen, here's great news. You can build your own Patriots. Because if someone said that to me, I think, was there an instruction manual? How do you even do that? I know. Look, Biden supplied Ukraine far more weapons than he actually supplied. Trump sells them through NATO. He makes them be the big ball because he's so sympathetic to Putin, which that was a Freudian slip revealing a lot. But the problem with Patriot missiles is the Americans used half their stock against Iraq to protect themselves and neighbours. So they haven't got many left to give. But you can't just build Patriot missiles overnight. One, the owners, the arms companies haven't given permission for it. But two, you have to build high-end engineering, electronic factories, which will take years to produce. You just can't do it overnight.
They have that already. I mean, I think they produce their own weapons.
Yeah, but they do. Your drones are very low level. Patriot missiles are high-tech, high-spec. Yeah, but what's amazing about them, you all take great heart. Even yesterday,
Yeah, fine, yeah.
they're exporting diesel and they've got real problems. Their population can't buy fuel because they're running out. So somehow, I don't know how they've done it, Ukraine. And they've managed to fight them to a standstill. Absolutely, and they've done fantastically, and they need all the support we can give them. Yeah. And they really are an amazing country and led by a brilliant leader. And I just think it's just madness.
There was a little moment here, let me show Trump asked if Zelensky was prepared to travel to Moscow for peace talks.
Would you go to Moscow?
It's difficult, right? Ukrainian talks.
Yeah, I mean, what I dread is the way that obviously Russia and trying every day. Yeah, but everyone's trying to kill each other, aren't they? Let's be honest. Yeah, I would love to get to the bottom of that bomb process. Do not know what. No, that's a really fascinating story. Okay, in the mail, different story. Lately, you've got this Virgin Media being fined an enormous amount because they basically become Hotel California. You try and cancel, you can't get out.
You can never leave. I mean, I get it. You know, I not with Virgin Media, but it's so easy to sign up to a subscription. And when it comes time to cancel, I think they need to listen to a few others, newspapers included. You have to send an email, you have to call customer service, they don't answer. You sign on in a second, but to unsubscribe from these companies is... And it's
Virgin Media are very bad. I've got a colleague who tried to get out of Virgin Media. It is like breaking out of jail. And she said that they would leave you hanging on the phone for literally 3.5 hours. And she did stay on the phone, God knows how, because she had other things to do.
but it's clearly deliberate. They keep you hanging on, they just walk away.
Really?
Yeah, and it's their policy of stopping people cancelling.
It's like try getting a refund from British Airways. It's kind of the same thing. Somehow it's a different department. It goes, there could be a regulation that says it should just as easy to cancel as it is to sign off.
Exactly. If you just press a button to pay, just
Yeah.
press a button to sign
100%.
a big T&C, there might be a 7-day notice period
Yeah, that's
or
fine.
whatever.
That's fine.
But you just have to press a button, you don't have to speak to anybody,
Yeah.
you don't have
They have
to
changed
change
the system. The system now is you decide who you want it to. Let's say Sky. Yeah. Sky then do your cancellation with Virgin. That's the system. Yeah. What do you think?
Well, I subscribe to all sorts of things like software for making music or a news service of all sorts of things.
Yeah.
And I think you see a band stage and you think, oh, I thought I'd cancelled that. And I thought I'd cancelled that.
Yeah.
And now
And you get found again.
and you just get so confused.
I know, and also the bank statement never has the name you recognise on it. So it has something else.
Yeah.
And you can't work out what it
Then I
is.
Google what company this. And then I'm like, they're not getting back to me. So like the story says, you cancel your direct debit.
Yeah.
And then you get a time your credit's gone down.
If you get your subscriptions get to a certain level, the only possible course of action is to leave the
And
country.
it,
That's the only way of getting out
But
of it.
another sneaky switch is not direct debit, but on your card.
yeah, on your card.
So you target to cancel a card with a
100%.
direct
And also on the credit card app, it doesn't tell me, like, I want to know what I'm subscribing to.
Exactly.
It is a trap. And I feel that I'm not usually pro too much regulation, but I feel that regulation has come in.
Good, okay. Well,
Yeah.
reform calls for more regulation. Good.
No.
Mike in the mirror, Elton's back for the last Mexican wave. Oh, he's going to play again.
Well, this word farewell tour is a great marketing thing. I mean,
I saw his last one. I thought that was it.
I'm not saying it's cynical. I'm just saying that if you
overwhelmed. Our specialist advisors are here for you 7 days a week. So call Macmillan Support right now on 0808 304 2000. Whoever you are, whatever you're going through, we're here.
The Ryobi cordless 2-in-1 grass trimmer and edger. Now just $69.99, saving over £90 plus bricks to line heads worth over £20. Buy now at ryobitools.co.uk.
At Newswitch, our experts fight to get you better prices on your energy, broadband and mobile. You can probably beat out of your phone. Switch play now. Switch like. Beat the fully electric or fully electric.
That's cool. What can I do for you?
Freedom to move. Electric. Start mobile electric.
Henry Summer Sale just got even better. Get up to 60% off hundreds of made-to-measure blinds, curtains and shutters. Plus an extra 10% off absolutely everything. That's 10% off all blinds, 10% off all curtains and 10% off all shutters. We're proud to be the excellent on Trustpilot. So join your window one and book your free in-home appointment today. Call 0800 916 1010 or visit hillarys.co.uk. An extra 10% off everything ends the 27th of July. Wow! That's real! Ooh! Now that's big summer energy! And are the incredible prices at Asda, with only £3 to £12 on over 100 Station 6 favourites, like these 14 British pork jumbo sausages and these chorizo and British chicken kebabs. And beat the heat with only £2 to £4 on packs of ice lolly. That's Asda prices. Stop.
Yes, 5 years.
the law that I'm very we're talking about. Why would I do that?
Randy, that is your Miss Murder. Coming soon. Goodbye.
The next will wake me up in the phone what are the general engagement with your showers, Jesus with solar bears and with your showers.
welcome at arrival time, Layla, and we bring you the nostalgia the anchor at 75. A message on her website and social media account read, Bonnie's family and me are heartbroken that Bonnie unexpectedly passed away last night in hospital in Portugal as a result of the illness that she was being treated for. In May, Bonnie was placed into an induced coma after having emergency intestinal surgery in Portugal. Last month, her spokesperson said she was out of the coma but remained very unwell and in intensive care. And her hits, of course, that's it, the total eclipse of the heart and holding out for a hero, which is actually, this is going back nearly, I think, more than 40 years. Have a look.
Epic.
You obviously love it.
Such a good one. Yeah, I mean, I love that. Send the kiss for the heart. I mean,
Alright,
that's
let's
the
see that as well.
to my music.
So born with the name Gaynor Hopkins. And actually, I would speak up for the first couple of singles she had. I thought, well, brilliant. It's a Heartache. Yeah. And Lost in France. Yeah. Two great songs for the 70s. They're kind of a soundtrack to more.
Yeah, and you could sing along with them, range of emotions, uplifting, sort of a bit further down and very emotional. And it's really sad. It's what a light bulb that once you live on this island, no edge. I heard a friend of hers who's designed you improving somewhat, had been very ill. So it's a bit of a shock to find out.
Yeah, it is. And we had her in the studio a couple of years ago. It's lovely to talk to her. She's been in a legal battle, I think, over some classic big royalties. And it's always a shame when people get to the point in life where they could be just enjoying being up all the time, but they've got to fight for the money they earn. And we see that story again and again, don't we?
It's frustrating, but isn't it funny that I couldn't remember some of the things I really didn't say yesterday, but I knew all the words to those songs.
You did,
And
yeah.
I haven't heard it in such a long time. The songs from our past really stick in my head.
Well, it's the clue to Bonnie's success, I suppose, was those two classic songs, Holding Out for a Hero and Total Eclipse of the Heart, were written by, the guy who did the
Oh, right.
Jim Steinman. When Jim Steinman sat down and just wrote the Meatloaf Back Out of Hell album, Meatloaf was the singer. And in there, he's just he's an incredible rock opera, isn't it?
Yeah.
So, anyway, there we are.
That genre, the rock opera.
Because, well, it's actually the trend, like, the 80s was such a decade. I mean, Tina Turner and Morrison and both of them had a more conventional start, and then someone said, you know what, go for the big hair, go for the big song, and it anyway, it's kind of poverty, right? They're kind of saying,
I video
yeah.
But that's how music kind of.
Yeah.
We're going to have you like the song?
You know, it takes you back. It was immediately when you're song, you remember what your life was at that time that the song came out.
Yeah, that's very good for the heart. This year, a billion streams on Spotify. And the reaction was, I'm quite chuffed because there are 3 billion people on the planet. That's a good line. And the other thing is, Robert Sullivan, they were known for more than 50 years. Yeah, we wish holidays. Here we are. There it is. We'll tell you in a second. I've got it. It's like about is that what it is? We'll catch it. Here's another little enjoying that. We love to hear from you. 16 p.m. from the landline. Mobiles, maybe dearer. We've also got the free programs. Look at that. Isn't that amazing? Quite heavily unionised, actually. 2 p.m. Vanessa. I made a comment once. They all walked out. It's now like 3 months. Let's have a look at the poster again. There we are. It's about time. Let's do that. No! It's a great, she begins to have dementia. Very powerful. Still Alice. Okay. Yes, I'll let you rule me out the bank holiday. England win. I need to not say we. I've got to be impartial here.
Yeah, you have to.
If a team in the World Cup called England win, he told reporters that I'm jinxing it, but ask me again. I'm just not final. It will be the Friday after, so the 24th of July. Scotland already had a one-off bank holiday to let fans recover after their opening match against Haiti. I feel bad about what happened to Scotland in the World Cup. They should run it again this time. Go forwards. You know. What do you think, Layla? Are you following it?
Yeah, I mean, after that match in Mexico, they were like gladiators. If they win, the joy that we will feel. Finally.
Well, it could keep Andy Burnham in power for 10 years.
I mean,
he's going to get... Here's the weird thing, right? Is that the final is on the weekend, the final of the finals. And on the Monday, I think we're expecting Burnham to take over. And the weirdness of it all is that Starmer will be in the stands watching the final. Now, if England won, I would say this is a cancel your resignation. Don't you think?
but if anyone wants, bank holiday or not, no one's going to work the next day.
If England win, Keir Starmer will be the John Terry figure in the photo. So he doesn't want their push that later.
Well, yeah.
But England won the World Cup in 1966. Harold Wilson brought the Labour in. He lost 4 years later. But when he lost, he thought bad trade figures and people just wanted a bit of a chip. But England got knocked out by Germany 3-2 with a Peter Bonetti.
They're talking about the one where Brazil, Pelé, the 90s.
Yeah, that was 90, wasn't it? Wasn't that a group game? Didn't England get knocked out by Germany, leaving Bonetti at Chelsea?
Yeah. That was good.
Well, they were all wrong.
No, I think but what your point being here that, you might celebrate one day, but you can't back.
People come back.
I don't know, because we still go on about 66, don't we?
I know all the time.
I was 1, Kevin was 2 or 3.
I was not even confused. But there was a time, it's weird how football grades go and come. Like, what happened to Brazil? They won it all the time.
They're still, the thing about Brazil is that you play it as a kid, you play it on the beach, and it's just
They're
natural.
not as good as they were.
Germany used to be incredibly dominant.
Italy even.
Yeah, Uruguay back in the day.
Remember Pepe Scolacci? Was it Pepe Scolacci?
But I thought, right, people who stay up, I got up at the night to watch England beat Mexico. I had to go to work, everyone had to go to work. I thought Scotland was wrong when it was a 2 o'clock kick-off on Sunday morning to then say you can have the Monday off. However, as it was just a group game first, so it's what I think if England do win the World Cup, it's such a big event and it's a unifying event. And England to an extent, I mean Scotland, my Scottish fans are less sympathetic here. I think it's worth a public holiday, and I'm not one for calling rights a public holiday. And he said the same, he died, this will be the first time. We only get 8 bank holidays.
You're not less than Europe or the US.
Yeah. Okay, alright. Ross is in Glasgow. Hello, Ross.
Hi, gentlemen.
Hi, what do you think? A bank holiday if we win? It's then again. That team called England win.
Right, well, all up for the Southern Scottish people about 10th man's game which are coming. I was against Scotland's bank holiday, and I'm against this bank holiday as well.
Can you help me understand? I've got a friend who's Danish, or he's got Danish connections, and I said, what's happened to Denmark? He said, oh, didn't you see? Denmark didn't get into the World Cup. Scotland knocked them out in the most extraordinary game. How did Scotland do so badly, Ross? Help me understand this.
Because they're good at it.
Because they're good at doing badly.
Yeah, the battery
Well, I guess also, I think never appoint managers who are defenders. Steve Clark, Gareth Southgate, because they make the team play backwards. Yeah, it happens every time. Thank you, Ross. Love talking football. John in Dorset, hi.
Hello, Jeremy.
All right,
Hello,
John.
Layla, and hello, Graham.
Hello.
I believe that we should have a bank holiday because King Charles awarded Scotland one just for qualifying.
Yeah, well, let's not go through it. I feel bad. I know, and there was pointing out that Scotland was celebrating when they got a corner and everything.
But it wouldn't hurt to have a one-off, bank holiday if we did win it.
But what would you do? But what would the Scots do on that day? Because that would be very painful. It would need to be compensated in some way.
Well, no, they don't like us. We don't like them very much.
Maybe there could be some distraction. Later on.
Yeah. Johnny, it's great in here. If we had that bank holiday, what would you do? I mean, would you put it on a street party, down the pub, or just a tea in your house? All of them.
I mean, can you imagine? I think we have this debate every time there's a World Cup. Because we always feel the disaster. Can you imagine if we won? The joy this country would feel wider. I mean, we've been waiting for it for so long.
I know, but we normally, things go badly for example now, and also we play boringly, and what I think people are really shocked by is we're one of the best teams to watch in the tournament. We're conceding goals, but it doesn't matter. Now,
I just worry about penalty shootouts. That has been our downfall.
Well, that's been an ongoing issue since about 1971.
Yeah.
France play Morocco at 9. We will check back in with our sweepstake tomorrow. We do need a new voice for our sweepstake jingle, and it could be you. So you can send us a clip of you singing the best World Cup sweepstake knockout stage in the world. You can WhatsApp us, you can scan the QR code on screen now, email us jeremy@channel5.com. Okay, you'll have to look up, you have to sing it in tune, so I don't know how you have to find a clip of it. Maybe we can get Saul and Alexis to play a clip so you can record it. Okay, after the Vegas debate, there's nothing else. Plus, we'll be joined by Mike Batt, the legend behind incredible symphonies, theme tunes like Watership Down, Bright Eyes, The Wombles, Katie Miller, etc. Can't wait to see him. We're back shortly. A New York entrepreneur is making money selling what? This is a good question. Labubu World Cup figures, rubbish from Taylor Swift Ready, or Iron Brew scented perfume? The answer in a moment.
And now the Tokyo highlights from Trivago. Here's an email to save over 100,000 at Trivago. Now, say it again. This has come on right now, 250 pounds of milk. So, 150 pounds. When you're Tokyo on Trivago, when you compare the milk prices, save up to 40%. Hotel, Trivago. It's best to fix it with all the discovery. The recomplete task to help you change the local rate. Elevator, versatility,
Get more out from broadband and social spending. Switch to EE, the UK's fastest growing broadband provider, and get ultra-reliable full fibre for only $28.99 a month. But nothing gets in the way of your screen getting your work in. And EE is the only major provider who'll give you up to £300 to switch.
At Tesco Mobile, there's even more Club Card points to help you make more of summer. Get the Samsung Galaxy S26 Ultra with 100 gigs of data for just $54.99 with Club Card prices, saving you £346. Plus, get an incredible £50 worth of Club Card points with one stop with over 100 more partners, or even triple with select meeting outlets. It pays to be connected. Let's Tesco Mobile. £69 million, that's to say, if McIntyre is richer than Carr. What about Ross versus Silverman? Or does Norton beat Cowell? Who are Britain's richest TV stars? I didn't realise it was much of that. The TV Rich Life 2026. Who earns the most? Monday's 8 on Fox.
What? Is it the Liverpool World Cup figures? Rubbish from players with pity, or I agree with Sadie Druggy, and it is the rubbish from the wedding. Let's get some cheese there. His name is Justin Iliad, and he's collected in things like cigarette butts and everything, and an ovulation test kit, and maybe an AirPod, and he's put them in sort of see-through plastic envelopes, plastic bags, baguettes, that's what you call them. And he's been served. Yeah.
Capitalism at its finest.
Well, I think there's nothing
But hang on,
Or some people have more money than sense. Yeah.
or an ovulation kit, the way?
That confused me.
Yeah.
That really. Well, I don't know.
Well, I guess if you got a test, you got a test.
Well, I don't. Kevin and I can't comment on stuff.
No, I'm a bit man-split.
You haven't checked out very particular time.
Yeah, we'll take that.
So then you're fine, it's not a, yeah.
Well, let's assume.
Very true. That would tell us, didn't it?
Yeah, please legal. I will, moving on. I was going to mention a lovely friend of mine called Bob Harris. I bet now, just thinking, Kevin's the kind of age, forgive me, by the way, I think you'll have the old Greta Success.
I do.
So Bob is one of the great musos. And so this is him presenting in the 70s.
Right, good evening, welcome to you to the television theatre for what is the national plan for the last program in 1997, which will be back in September. But we all thought what a good idea it was to go out in true style. And this is one of my favourite bands in the entire world, Tom Petty and the Heartbreakers.
So this is a classic show, Old Greta Success. Bob made it a huge success, and he is the guy I know who knows more about it than anyone else. And he is very, very unwell. I mean, he's come off the radio, and he has cancer, he's had a terrible heart condition and everything else. So I went to see him yesterday in Oxfordshire, and I think, just have a look at this photo, there he is, dear old Bob Harris. And it was that thing where I said, can I come down and see you? We just sat in his garden. Trudy, his wife was there. KPT talked about elves. Yeah, the best afternoon.
Fantastic.
Funny one too.
Yeah, you can see it now on YouTube, but it was. If you like music, you love music, you have to watch it. And it was fantastic.
They had Bowie, they had Elton, and it all came out of Bob's passion for music.
Yeah.
And he was, I guess he was about 10 when Elvis did That's All Right Mama. So because he's 80 now, he's seen all of it, and now he's a great champion of country music.
I love country. My son's in Nashville. I love country.
So a lot of that will come from Bob's enthusiasm. So anyway, bless him.
At Nashville, they take it so seriously that in the airport with the country band.
Yeah, that's fantastic. Yeah. Anyway, there we are. We're losing some of the greats of radio. Fall back to radio now. I've sent in my love. I hope you're watching. Bob, you'll enjoy seeing Mike Baxter in a minute, so don't be. And thank you, Trudy, for the cake. Time for the papers and everything else. So starting off with the Daily Mail, humiliation for Starmer. MPs say number 10 forced through Mandelson job. There we go. And this is a report from a cross-party committee of MPs which said the vital checks weren't done. They were viewed as a nuisance, as though officials were looking for reasons not to bother. We sort of know this, and in a way this is, I was going to say literally, not literally, but it is the nail in the coffin, because Starmer's already been buried, isn't
It is, it's a nail or putting the garlic, you can keep away the vampire. And if you watch the Foreign Affairs Select Committee hearings, Ollie Robbins was at the Foreign Office Mandarin who got the sack, it was quite clear that Starmer had damaged the airport. Starmer hadn't taken much notice of it, and this is where it was kind of mad that the point of the ambassador to the US was so important, because the relationship with Trump in the new Prime Minister invested a lot of time. He listened to those, he said, bring back somebody who had to resign his career twice, make him ambassador. It all went horribly well. Yeah. I can't believe he didn't get up and kick himself.
Yeah, but when he was appointed, people were jumping up and down.
Well,
we were all taking the view, if you want to infiltrate the mafia, you've got to look at
Nigel Farage welcomed it, said he would be good.
Well,
people like Austin New Mandelson say no.
Well, we didn't know how close he was to Epstein. I mean, that really comes out.
We knew at that point that he stayed in Epstein's house.
Did we know at that point?
Yes, we did.
I don't-
Because the FT were asking Mandelson about it, and he famously said, F off from the house. Yeah. So we did know that.
We didn't know it. Was it confirmed though?
Yes, it was. But some things some of the photos hadn't come out.
No.
And the key thing that killed him was that birthday card where he says, we all love you, they're best
That's
mates.
when we found out they were besties.
Well, but we didn't have the photos on the card.
No, but I think there was enough there. There were enough warning lights and
Yes.
alarm bells not to do it.
Yeah, but we could have said that as well. You and I, and all the reporters and Farage all could have said, this appointment is a disaster. But actually, people said at the time, well, that's fine. And that's why, go on.
Well, we need to know why we're wanting. What other, who forced him? Surely someone.
Because he looked like the right man for the job.
Well, surely in Great Britain there are many others. You don't have to pick someone who's so near
Yes.
the scandal and the best friend of Epstein. Surely, I mean, there must have
Can you
been
see
some
the argument
causes.
for sending somebody who was a mate of Epstein to
Yeah,
my friend Trump? Because Trump was a mate of Epstein too.
Well, yeah.
The old phrase said,
I think everyone.
that's what it is.
That's it. You can't have that as a couple of things.
I understand the strategy. I thought it was mistaken at the time. I didn't believe it would explode as spectacularly and
It
devastating.
wasn't in the pitch darkness. I mean, you don't look at someone who's friends with Epstein, in the pitch darkness, and you're like, you know what, mate? You made a great ambassador for the USA.
They do. And also, the big
That's a serious judgment.
You've worked, you've and I for years and years and there's no doubt he added to the tapestry, he's an amazingly dramatic figure. Can you believe what this has come to, where they face prosecution, they go to jail, he's brought down the staff, he's brought down the Prime Minister. This is incredible.
No, I also it would remain political, not criminal. He wants to rise up the guard, chief reporter. He lobbied against me getting the charges you proposed in Brussels because he didn't want me going out there and giving me a
hanging out on John. I didn't stand it down. They didn't do that before.
It's an awful lot people check by whether that people led on majority. But they work pretty independently for the selection. I think they're the best of it all.
Laundry's been a thorn, not to know how to test it in sharp advice.
She was the only shadow minister not to get a job in government. So yes, she had an axe to grind. But we could see it in public when we heard the testimony. There was no way Starmer could get away with this.
Kevin's got a story in the Times. Family been pardoned for Ruth Ellis, and this story, I think young people watch looking at this will think, how could this have happened? Well, it was in 1955.
Yeah, in Holloway prison, convicted of murdering her lover, David Blakely. She shot him. What wasn't taken into account at the time, and the judge that it should be specifically ruled out, was his domestic abuse, including punching her when she was pregnant and had her baby scan. Yeah. But her grandkids campaign for part of conditional Justice Secretary David Lamb said this case was held now, trial was held she's probably convicted of manslaughter rather than murder. But for those two things, bring back the road. You know, you're a former prostitute, bring back the road. Let's have capital punishment for back. There are 11 cases like
The best argument against, however, you could bring back punishment to capital punishment without ever going in something like that. She would be executed now. You can kill people like you
could, this could still be business near, but I'd have a principled position against judicial execution.
What do you think there?
I often explain for capital punishment and not for the accident punishment. Why should I take them but there are all the characters of justice. You know, I read the making book by John Bishop, one of the best written in the gentleman, and where the US when asked to gentleman for murder, and he's got a
It's a real story.
and anyone should read it, it's really great. And then I thought, hang on.
But you can avoid that because there are people we know did it. I'll give you an example, right?
Well, I don't
Okay.
They put that nose to wrong.
We're now unsure, right? That guy took a crossbow and killed his ex-girlfriend and her sister and their mother in a house in, was it Bedfordshire? And you know, the father was a BBC guy. I mean, there's no question that
but if you look at it from a legal term, like the legal test, you can't just base it on that. The legal test, if someone's convicted, then you assume that they did it. And you can't, you know, if a conviction means that the jury is sure that they did it, so you can't be like, well, some are big.
There have been calls for baby killer Lucy Letty to be a
the guilt of So I'm going both ways here as well. We can have a listen to what Ruth Ellis's granddaughter Laura Engston had to say after the verdict.
It's fallen across 2 generations. From a time scale that was never ours to bear.
So that was the lady being hanged goes through the generation and still making something close to 26. So yeah, the other crazy thing about the story is that the judge who sentenced her was Nigel Haber's grandfather.
Yeah.
And he claimed that he was trying to get her out of it, you know, but
What was the test for being hanged? I mean, what
I think she was absolutely open that she'd taken the gun. I don't think she even wanted to plead any mitigation. That's what I did. And she was having a breakdown probably, and all that we now know. So...
But were you hung in... Was it an automatic sentence for murder? Did every murderer get
That's a
one?
good question. I don't know whether the judge had discretion. Havers certainly told me that his grandfather didn't have discretion.
So, it would be interesting to look up the test at that time.
One of the orders abolishing the death penalty in 1967 was that juries were becoming willing to convict because they thought that execution would be a disproportionate
Yeah. All right. In the Telegraph, sorry then. BBC got the new guy in that Britain's local licensing is not the perfect place to listen. Let's see what he has to say exactly. So there's the headline. Let's have a listen.
We should be doing as much as possible on licence fee collection under the current model, but it's yesterday's model. It's a costless blush. It's no longer fit for purpose. In the last 10 years, BBC has lost 1.2, 1.3 billion of licence fee funding. So 60% of the drop in our income comes from policies, 40% from reduction in households paying.
Isn't that amazing that, you know, so 60% okay, people saying the BBC needs less money. The other 40% is people not paying.
I was quite angry at BBC and I tried not to pay and I got a letter saying you don't pay your fees and
oh really? So the system is working?
Yeah, this was a few years ago and it's remarkable because I know criminals that don't get that letter. Era. I mean, if that can convince people to subscribe, then the BBC should also have to convince people. But I like some of their shows.
You only want to subscribe show by show, or you want to check out a
and
single
some of the
television?
TV shows that I really like end up on Netflix.
Yeah, but my question is, that's a big question, like, which is, you only want to subscribe show by show, or you want to have the whole thing?
I want it to be a choice.
You want to have it? I'd rather have it.
In a free market, broadcasters should have to form unity.
The thing I quite a lot of nation, I don't want royal family and nuclear weapons being featured. I do see what you say the same about street lights. But, yeah, but what if you did? Well, you don't want it. Well, you don't want it to go outside if you particularly, well, yeah, I don't need street, I don't want to pay for it, I don't need it.
It's not like street lights into voluntary TV. I don't really go on it.
Oh, shit, blindly. Look, I don't like your taxation. We all pay it.
Yeah.
I think it sounds sensible. I've always just liked the fact that the regressive tax, because no matter what your family income is, there's a house of welcome to you.
No.
Might have a mansion, 10 million quid and 100 tenants, and they will be paying the same as a little old man. What do you replace it with? Who you want to go to music?
Either they will tend to the left or they will fall.
Even though the guidance doesn't work, is that it's forcing people, keeps things open which you don't think you like, but then you think you understand. And an example would be very different. Once you say it's down to the market, you couldn't certain things just go in a day, and radio in a day.
Actually, it does it. It's standard to fall across the border because of that. I think a standard thing for the broadcasters, but you need a publicly funded broadcaster. How you broadcast. Whether you have a small attachment that counts attachment, well, that would sound as though regretting that somebody in a house is the same as a Mayfair man or something.
You don't need to say much about this. It's a house. Oh, right, just down the proper food. They thought they were ready to take out their ownership, but they've now been given firm word. It has been illegal. The crime is actually officially called taking a bag.
Oh, wow.
Yeah, for the last 6 years, and they probably death penalty of that. Well, the defendant is in prison or a fine of up to £40,000. There's a hell of a lot going on in literature. When you think of it, open the door windows. She was going to spare her for 3 days. When she then went to bed, a pigeon had put a nest on the bed in the spare room and laid an egg, and her really thought wasn't going to move the leg outside. She would have read the RSPCA and said, if you move it, you would be subject to a prison sentence. So, there's certain crime. Okay, more after the break will be joined by the legendary songwriter Frank Stack. Can't wait for you to listen. The man behind the War Born, the great by our car Stone Cold Genius, Chocolate Cake. And we'll take a look at the young British Stormish from the 75 with UAC. Well, if you want more famous motto, is it keep great society? Make good use of bad rubbish, or leave no trace. The one horse motto. Answer coming.
That was a great celebration. Dad would have loved it. And no money wasted on a hearse or crematorium ceremony. He hated how expensive traditional funerals are. So we got a pure cremation funeral plan. He wanted his money to go to us, not funeral expenses. It was much more affordable, and it gave him peace of mind knowing it was all sorted and we didn't have to arrange or pay for his funeral. Dad's ritual cremation because it's the best-selling funeral plan in Brooklyn. It's so respectful. People have their own crematorium, and they hand deliver stashes in an urn and stay for a cup of tea and a chat. Then we use some of the money he saved to remember him our way.
You're the hit and
No, I think they're both started.
If you're being quote,
They will be retired,
search online or call us through today. You'll also get a free £100 gift card with your plan.
Yeah.
Today's going to be great because I'm paying the coffee lottery.
There's a weekly jackpot of £2,000 and £20,000 to win at the Super Bowl.
There are 400 cash prizes, 35.
And it helps the Royal British Legion support our brave servicemen and women. What a great British thing to do.
Playing for just £1 a week. Call the number on screen or text play to 885 to enter through your mobile. Because soon you could find £20,000 in the post. What a great way to start the day.